Hello, hello, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is November 24th, it is Monday. We are at exactly 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. Um, all right, let's go to what is happening here now before digging a little bit into what happened last week. First, I have reorganized. I have reorganized my screen. Come on. I need to record Control 1, draw, Control 2. Alright, Control 2. Alright, Control 1, Control 2. Control 1 is zoom, Control 2 is draw, type is T. Alright. Okay, Control 2. Alright. Nope. Come on, submit. I forgot how to use this thing. F2? No. Oh boy, my bad. Sorry for that noise. Okay, just let's try something. What I am today is a week in which the market is coming. Oh, first, before going any further, let me see let me tell you how I reorganize this. What I have here on the left, the upper side and the lower side, these are daily histograms. Right? The one on the top belongs to the ES, the one on the left belongs to Nasdaq. The next chart on the right, this big one here, are the market profiles for the ES, Nasdaq down below. And what follows to the right is the intraday volume histograms for each period. Nasdaq up, ES up here, Nasdaq just exactly below. Now, what I have following or after that, and this one only for the ES, is I have some volume tracker here, a big volume tracker, with some studies that I have coded or programmed for this specific market. Here I have blocks above 200. For example, at 12:30 p.m. I have some buying coming around these areas, around the 67.15, exactly 67.15, and the other one 67.25. All right. The following, this is a bid and ask delta here. Oh, another study, a couple of studies that are happening here, apart from the big volumes blocks here, are a tracker, right? of momentum and institutional, quote unquote institutional activity. This one, for example, says weakening is smaller. The amount of volume that is coming or was coming here was decreasing, right? Even though volume was normal or similar to what was coming, the sizes of the volume entering the market were decreasing. Volume was the same, but the size was decreasing, the size of the orders. Right? But after that, and that is one around this area here, right? And after that, volumes remains normal, and it picks up the pace once this area has been dealt with. And what is this one? What is this area when you have this 3-4 period range? That area is this leader distribution from this day. The one that I have highlighted here, this area here. For NASDAQ was doing the rebalancing here right below that area here. The distribution, right? And once the market takes the opposite side of that or any reference, this could be potentially, if you are a counter, you are used to go against market, this could be a potential area on which a market can have some sort of reversal, right? The question is why I would like to short something, in this case a market that is clearly trending higher. It is trending high. I don't see nothing else, just market going higher. If any, traders will be buying dips. Notice also where value is here. Where value is here, and compare value relative to the previous day or to the last trading session. Right? It was inside. Actually, we have 2-day range with value accumulates, and not just that, but another one here and another one here. Very, I would say very, and this is what trading is about, right? Trading is about change, and there is a lot of randomness that happen or may happen in trading, and it can really kill us if we don't have mental flexibility. One of the things, for example, I'm talking about just the ES, right? What the market was doing, for example, you can see this nice trend here on the upper side, right? But forget about that. Notice these 2 days here, 2-day range, right? 2-day range here. What happened after that? We have another 2-day range. Another 2-day range with value inside value. Even though prices are higher, value is unchanged. Value is unchanged. Where previous value is, previous area of value is all the way up here. Value is coming lower. So the market is going lower. But what happened in here in these days? We have NVIDIA, right? I cannot call this random, but because we knew it was going to happen. The reaction in the market was a really huge upside extension here. that could not take the high of this range, this 3-day range, and the selling that came after that, the sell-off that came after that. The sell-off was such an intense that almost, or actually it did takes, it takes the monthly low in the ES. Nasdaq has already taken the monthly low, so there's no more upside trend in the bigger time frame in both markets. Now, what happened with Nvidia? We have significant upside here. Liquidation of all of that inventory that came to the market on this day. And next day, all right, we have this news that and relative to the same company, right? Mixed news. One potentially very negative and another one very positive. The market reacted to the positive one, in which there was just a tweet, right? Just a tweet from the president saying that the White House, or some news related to that the White House was considering to remove the bans from Nvidia that forbids them to export to China. And when that happened, during this day, and that came out of nowhere, really, out of nowhere. We were talking on Friday that this could be potentially a range, traders selling and rallies and buying dips, and the market was actually doing that, right? You have a rotational market. The market was in a rotation here, all right? Potentially highlighting increasing the odds of taking this distribution of closing, which increases the odds the market is going to keep trading sideways. But up here, when the market was doing here in this period, it had a news that I mentioned, and the market just kills right, really towards this support resistance. Nasdaq did the same. Nasdaq had or has their own references. In this case, Nasdaq has the 24,500. You have talked a lot. We have made a lot of talk about that reference. But just notice where it was. Let me. The 2500 is this area here. Let me open this profile, and this is just short term. Market was doing Nasdaq was doing the rotation, but something really interesting happened. Right before this, I actually had a short here when the market was doing this. I was trading to the short side, but something happened here. And what is that, right? What is that? The fact that there was selling coming from halfback, but this break here, the break that happened here, actually moves POC from down here all the way to up here. So this is super risky now. So POC moving higher means that the market is actually accumulating buyers, and I don't want to be a buyer I don't want to be a seller in a market that is showing strong presence of buyers. And I just decided to walk out, right? Close trade and just get the hell out of there. I was really lucky, man. I was really lucky because just a few minutes after that, the news that I mentioned comes out, and in a fraction of a second, I don't remember where the market was, but let's say it was here. In a fraction of a second, comes all the way up to here, right? in a couple minutes, it travels like 20, 30 handles. And that impact, I cannot think of the people that could have been short here. When the market, for example, was doing, and I'm talking about Nasdaq now. In this area, right? This was the area in which the market was before the news, and this just exploded to the upside here. And when the market moved POC higher, which also happened on Nasdaq as well, I started to think, okay, this market can actually target the 50, the 24,500. Again, Nasdaq is thinner, way thinner than Nasdaq, and if I have references in Nasdaq, for example, like this is ES, any given reference, right? Nasdaq have the tendency to overshoot, right? Either to the upside or to the downside. The ES is kind of like a little bit more precise. That's what I like from the ES, right? You can be fine or you can be right in Nasdaq, but your position can be underwater for, really deep underwater, right? Before it starts to work. And the risk is actually high. You are risking putting on the line a lot of money over there. Nasdaq, the ES is not that high. It's not that much. With volatility, I believe we have somewhere around 27 or above 25 on Friday. That is expected, right? These kind of distances from this are not out of the ordinary, right? This one here. But still is less, way less than Nasdaq. That is what happened. Was what happened Friday. And before I finish with Friday, I want to go back to what I was talking at the beginning. Before all of those two or three events, we also have this investor selling all of his Nvidia stock as it's very weird or rare to hear somebody sells 100% of any specific company from their portfolio, right? That could have had an impact here as well on Friday. But after that news, Trump or the White House saying potentially removing the bans from Nvidia and the Nvidia reports, Nvidia earnings, just check. I come to the market today just observing where the market is going to open relative to this day, right? Relative to this day or to this range here, right there. It opens right there. It's just like this day never existed and this one never existed. Because on markets, and that's another thing, right? Markets don't go straight up or straight down. They always do this thing when they are going to the upside and going to the downside. And what I do, or what I try to do, is try to work the rebalancing that happens when inventories get too long or too short, because my time frame is one of the very, very shortest time frames there is. I just trade the intraday. Right? I don't carry positions overnight. So I have to find, if the market gives me an opportunity during the day, I may take that opportunity. I may take that trade. But the market is right here, right now. Now, we have this shortened week. This is holiday. Also, we are the 24th. We have 11. We are 11/24. The rollover will be completed basically. Let me check this. The last one. Let me tell you exactly where it's going to be. Where's my calendar? December 19. So pretty much we have, before the rollover starts, one more week apart from this one. 1 week apart from this one before a rollover starts. Where the market is right now. Right? Where the market is right now. This is where September contract started. We are right there again. You know, it's like this month, this contract, this quarter is starting from scratch all over again. Can it have, or can it challenge, or can it make a new high? Have no idea, right? Now notice the monthly here, right? Now has changed, so we may have potentially a range here, or maybe some area that the market can find sellers, maybe trying to establish a trend, or maybe a range here in the upper side. Notice what's happening in the weekly, for example, right? If I want to find a high, this could be something which is the 67.50 maybe. That can be the potential. That can be potentially aiming of this day, or maybe this week, because this is the weekly time frame and this is the daily, right? In the upper side, in the daily, we have the 50 moving average up here. And having in consideration, when you have this week, week 1, the next week, week 2, next week, week 3, before March contract starts to take over, I wonder what can happen here. Well, with all of this inventory here, what can happen? Because all that is long, basically, just a fraction of all the activity, of all of the volume that we have during this quarter, just a small fraction has been below this. Now, something else here. Notice now, or check this out here. Check the volume we have here. 2.5 million, the volume, the ES, on Thursday. Friday, 2 million, which is still high, very high for the ES, right? And check check the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, up here. Look at that. 12 millions. This is a composite exchange, right? Regular volume, usually. Now you have a 5.5, maybe at the highest, right? This is high. Volume has picked up relative to previous years. You know, a couple years ago, this was 1.7, 3.7 at the high. This is considerably higher, but this amount of volume that I can see here is way higher. Even during the peak of the rollover, this one comes to maybe 7 or maybe 8, but this is extraordinarily high. And now the other thing here is that this volume for the market overall can have or can be impacted by NVIDIA. Right? There is a lot of activity that could happen here, and most of this volume may be related to this trade, or to this positioning, or to this rebalancing of inventory portfolios of these big hedge funds. This is really a nuance for me, right? And now coming into the end of the year, volume usually decreases. Also, the institutional activity has the tendency to fade, right? And markets begin to be dominated by really short-term trading, which makes the volatility also increases. Today we are seeing the bigs actually going lower. It is going down from 25, 26, 27 that we had a couple of days ago. It's coming almost below. It is 20.50 right now. It may end up, it might end, or we may close the below 20. And that actually is, it is something I don't like, right? It's something I don't like. The potential for this market has a really significant upside. I'm going to put this daily charts here for all these markets, right? Now I have here ES, for example. We have some highs here that are kind of close, but the market has to deal first with 50. These ones, this is in Nasdaq. Look at the highs here. Also, we have another 2 here, another 2 here. It has an excess in the upper side. This is good for Nasdaq. The Dow here. Believe it or not, Russell is the one that has the more potential upside here. Right? If this market can take this moving average, it actually can pick up pace to the upside, because there's firecracker effect potential in this area. The Dow trading from the 100 moving average is sign of weakness there. And I don't have a bias here in this market. I can see the potential to the upside here, because, and this is why, right? If I start to use, or I start to check the daily or the TPO chart, or my TPO charts, what I see here, for example, is we don't have excess on Friday on the upper side. This is extremely elongated to the downside, absolutely. And remember, this is the daily history. There's absolutely nothing up here. This market can target maybe this area here, the 67.70, right? And the 25,240 in Nasdaq. Because same, because there's nothing here. Look at that. There's absolutely nothing here. There's a vacuum here, right? But check it out. Just pay attention to how this is happening again. It is leaving it emptiness here. There's absolutely nothing here as well. It happening on the way down. It is happening on the way up. Now, what I came here to talk about is these highs here, or this range, or this upper distribution. The highs gathered here together, the lack of excess that we have here, the distribution that I have here, the lack of excess up here, right? And the non-excess all-time high. All these single pieces of information favors the upside. Now, who who is going to see or use that one, those kind of references, more likely is going to be short-term traders. Because what I have been seeing is tremendous amount of selling coming from the market, right? That selling being taken, how can I say this? Don't having the commitment, right? Because after the selling, after the pressure to the downside, after the volume to the downside, there was similar volume coming on the lower side as the market goes higher. Meaning that there can be significant amount of short-term trading going on here, right? Because you have one positioning in the upper side and taking profits in the lower side, right? That kind of activity is what lays behind my reasoning to label what is happening as a very short time frame trading, mostly. Right? Now, in days, going back to the market, in days like today, what do I see? Is a trending market. It is true that I have seen. It is true that I have seen this one time frame low, one time frame higher ending, but it was just picked up right away. Where these ones are picked up, that's another observation here, exactly from the 6700. A few ticks from closing this distribution here, which is the high. More relevant is which is the same as 6700. This would be my reference. You know, it is almost precisely this high, the upper side of this little distribution here. Does the market has upside potential from where it is now? I think so, because this high now, we don't have excess at the highs, and notice where it is at. Thursday, held back. It's right at the center of the range, right at the center of this huge range here. Was it? No, my bad. Now I'm going to take that one back. Okay, this is not center. This is the center. It has long past the center. Okay, this is the center of this of the period in which the market took this distribution or started this distribution. Right? This was the center. This was the center. It is not relevant now. I need to remove this one. Let me extend. Let me open this profile so you can see what I'm talking about. No, it's not even held back is here. This makes no sense. This is just, I may have been monitoring something here, but doesn't matter now. I will consider just a lack of access here, the fact that the single piece of information to not to try to short this market. Now, let's keep working now in the intraday. You have some weakness here, some weakness here. This one has been corrected. Now we have another one up here. Just check where J low is. Right? It's right at the center of this. As the market goes lower, it just dries up. There's nothing here. We have 5 here. 5 is a quote unquote signer to take a long here, or a sign as the end of the current action, right? But I really don't have anything here other than this is a trending day and the trend is to the upside. Traders will be buying dips, taking profits in rally, There is some weakening, you know. Shorter and shorter time frame trading is coming to this market. It seems like the AM is the 50, around the 67.50, the 50 moving average. You have the 50 moving average here. And from here, if there is something here, which I don't think so because of this thing, and because of this thing, this may actually aim, right? If there's some extension, this may aim to 67.70. I don't have anything here, really. I did some minor trade to the long side, just 2 trades today to the long side during A and B periods, right? And when the market started to trade close to this area, up here, it really started to slow down, you know. Tempo or the pace at which market was trading in this area was way higher than up here, right? Here it started to decrease. Significantly relative to this area down here. One of them very misleading activities or behaviors the markets do is what happened today at the opening. We have the opening in the ES way higher than the 100, way higher than 7. All of this inventory was long. Same goes to Nasdaq. Seller is down here. See the settle, right? All of that inventory is long, and the 100 moving average also very close. But notice what happened with Nasdaq, right? There's no give back in Nasdaq. Market open, shoot is way higher, aiming to take this high. It didn't even try to check the overnight POC. It did happen on the ES. It checked overnight POC, but after that, the next thing that is relevant for today's action is that this market takes Friday's high during the first period, right? This is during A. Now, what weakens the market, now we have a market to the upside. We have a stronger market, at least in the short term, but something that highlights or decreases the odds of a strength. I'm not talking about continuation, but now I'm talking about the strength is this market coming back below inside this range. Right. A strong market maybe would have seen a small retracement and then keep going higher, right? Or maybe just checking here and then going higher. The fact that it came back inside this range, notice where it was bought, right? Around overnight high, very close to support resistance, the 66 for ES. Nasdaq is the 24,500, which have never been challenged today. Right? So short-term strength in Nasdaq is bigger, right? It has more confidence than the ES. As the day progresses, it is almost 12:30 now. We have maybe three more periods now. The pace is slowing down. we may see some rotation, some back and forth, but still, this is something that I would not short. Right? Now, something else that catches my attention here is what happened. It is what happened on Friday at the close. Right? What happened Friday at the close was, I guess it was here. Yeah, let me check that. Just let me see if I have. No, I don't have it here now. But this is what I am. This is what I remember. Right? There was an attempt. On Friday at the close to retake this high, and that happened around this. Around in the ES, it happened around the 100 moving average, actually, right there. There was buying and selling here, right? Buying, selling, happening. Then the key here was the histogram for L around this area was, I don't remember if it was L or M, right? But it was something like this, right? It was something like this. Something similar. I don't see anything similar here right now. Maybe yes, a Nasdaq. No, I don't see anything like that right now. But this market was just coming here higher, and volume, each time it tried to go higher in this area, volume just dries at high, comes back, heavy volume here, goes back higher, dries. It makes like 4 or 5 attempts here, each time adding volume at this lower side, adding volume here, right? And there was some little excess here, completely flat, some very flat. I don't find it, kind of like very similar to what we have in the previous period here in the ES, right? Oh, actually, I know why I cannot remember, because that was the ES. I'm checking Nasdaq here. It was here. Okay, it was here during this period. And both periods look exactly the same. I had said it was a 41, I guess. Yeah, it was a 41. It was a 41. It was 45, 41. It was, and now I remember this. It was between 41 and 47, around this area here. All right. Pushing, accumulating, decreasing, pushing, accumulating, decreasing, pushing, accumulating, decreasing, right? And then at one moment in time, and consider the fact it was Friday, right? It was Friday. Who want to go out over the weekend, long or short, unhedged, right? And probably, more likely, the activity that was happening here was very short time frame trading, especially after the news, right, that took the market really high here. My bad, it wasn't here. It was here doing this, right? It was just news related upside here. Remember the White House putting that statement out there, saying that they may remove the ban on Nvidia's chips. And at the close, this was just liquidated. Only this part, right? And if you remember this, as the market attempted to come back here, you may find some opportunities in this area. because many times what the market is doing right now has a lot to do with what markets did before. And what happened here was, as the market liquidates these loans here, the loans that we have this area, it gets short. The market opened way higher over the weekend, I mean, way higher than zero, right? And it couldn't get to these lows. It couldn't get to these lows. Now, did I know the market was going to do this? Absolutely no. Absolutely had no idea. I face every day, right? I face every day with the same mindset, which is I don't know what's going to happen. But as the day develops, these single pieces of information that you record from previous day, they just start to pop up, man. They just start to pop up and kind of like gives you or can start to draw a picture of what might be happening at the moment, right? And sometimes the information is useful if it is paired with an opportunity that the market may present to you, right? But sometimes it's just information out there that I can do nothing about. Just keep carrying it or just remembering, but nothing else. The fact that I may be aware that what the market is doing or what the market is trying to do, it doesn't mean I can trade it. Right now, as we speak, I have the impression that this market has stalled. It doesn't mean it's going to collapse, and that's another reason, right, for what many traders also get caught, because the traders like to do what worked before. What we have seen on Friday is that late break, right, as the session comes to a close. But now we are just starting the week. This is the beginning of the week. If I have something from the opening, right, I can see some accumulation and then liquidation, right? Accumulation, strong liquidation. Notice what happened here. This is just back and forth, man. This is inventory gets short, get long. It's liquidated here. Accumulation, notice what happened here. Notice this trend, right? What happened here? As this accumulation happens, there is something else that start happening here. Right? So it got very short term inventory accumulated in both directions. Something happens and the market deals with the shorts just to immediately deal with the longs. And then here we go again. Let's do the same. Now, this is tremendous back and forth that happened during the weekly opening. Is that going to be relevant for what may happen the rest of the week? I don't know. This is the week, as I say, the week is just started, but that is something that I'm going to have in mind. Right now, inventory is getting long. The market has elongation to the upside, but I feel it like it's like FOMO is getting on. It's getting planted on traders' mind. I don't wanna miss the rally. I wanna be long. I better be long right now. I'm going to just sit and wait in this market rally 1,000 points. That can be what's in the mind of traders now. Now the last thing the market have saw on Friday was a late liquidation. Okay. Traders more likely are going to be expecting that. I wonder if that can happen with a pickup, right? with a pickup maybe in this area before these distributions are closed, because or maybe below this one and then have an upside. I don't know. Really, I'm just speculating here. Notice what's happening here now, right? This is looking like short covering. Many times, right? Many times markets move higher, rally higher, fueled by traders just consistently shorting the market. Those shorts being forced to cover is what moves market higher. Let's pay attention to what the market does relative to this upper distribution. The last distribution is still open. Any kind of trade I may have here, we see me closing it. For example, if I am long here, if this market take closes this distribution, I'm out. I don't care if the market then comes back and rally 50 points. I'm not going to get back in. As we speak, this distribution has been closed. I don't have this. When I have this distribution, these studies here, it have a tendency to use too much memory. It slows my charts. I don't use them don't use them all the time. They're gonna. All right. Check what's happening to half back of the current day. As the market has upside extension, it keeps moving higher, right? I just wonder, because if this half back can move up here. To move up here, this market needs to move at least kind of like twice this distance. That would be here, and that would be the 50, actually. Can you see? That's just very interesting. I don't have anything here. I don't have any interest in this market, meaning I am flat here. Nasdaq is paying a lot of attention to this little distribution from Thursday. I can say the same thing for ES. For the ES, this distribution has not been closed in Nasdaq. You have that one. You have another one down here. The leading market, in my opinion, has been Nasdaq today. Every time this market has had accumulation, what has followed was rally. Some accumulation, some volume blocks coming in this area. Next thing you know, market goes high. Volume coming. Next thing you know, volume goes higher. Volume comes. Next thing you know, there's a breakout to the outside. Since this moment, I haven't seen anything else. Oh, I have one more here. Right. Now, what is in mind of traders, more likely, is what happened at the close on Friday. Now, I'm not going to wait until the market gets to the last period. I'm going to be short right here, right now, right? I'm going to take advantage of those 20, 30 points the market is going to break. Be careful of thinking that way. Volume is very low. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up here, gosh. This comes up here. Notice how much lower is relative to Friday. It went from almost, how much is that, man? Almost like 40% lower. Yeah, 40% lower. Look at that. I wonder if there can be something here. This market is paying a lot of attention to this little insignificant piece of information here. This little one in Nasdaq, this little one in the ES. Notice what has happened. Notice what has happened to POC again. POC was down here. POC was down here. As the market breaks into this little one, POC moves higher from here to up here. Nasdaq is already higher. It's up, way up here. That's where POC is. And regarding risk, this is just my opinion, remember, regarding risk. I have POC here, right, which is the fairest price at which business is being conducted. This is the profit-taking area, and this area here is when you start, when you get long, right? Now, if I'm going to take a long here in this area, this upper side, my risk is higher than if I am below value area here. Or maybe, I would consider maybe below this area here. Not here, but here. Why? Because this is the upper distribution, right? I'll consider this a separate day and use just the upper one, right? Let me see if I can split this profile. The set standard profile. I guess I can split this profile. Yeah, let's split it on D. Split profile here. Yeah, let's split. Look at that. Look at that beauty. You got POC down here. This is another day. We're splitting the day in two. POC is up here. This would be the area to take a long. This will be the area. Take profits. Right? Where the market is? Right at the center. If I'm going to take a long here, I may be right. I may have a trade here, but my risk is higher. Can this market go lower towards this area? The odds of that happening gets actually reduced because of the highs that is leaving behind. Okay, something has happened here. I got an alarm here. What happened? What happened with the alarm? Okay, some selling coming here right now. Ooh, look at this. This is huge. All right, this is huge. This one is really 2,000 blocks here. 67.20. 67.20 happening on K. Marker down here, really down here, right? Configuration, right triangle down, big volume to the downside. Doesn't mean, okay, it doesn't mean I'm going to be a seller here, but this is information that I'm going to carry for the upcoming days. No? As the market goes higher, there are blocks that are coming to the downside. No, I'm going to take my words back. Let me reinterpret the information that I'm seeing here, because I have two different things actually here. The bid and ask is here. We have selling coming. Let me check. I want to see this. I'm going to add some information here. I got more. Look at that, man. Look at that. What the heck? Normal volume, very high volume coming here. Accelerating. Larger. I got another one. I put another study here. Wait. There's some alerts coming here. Look how well Nasdaq is. Right at this. Wait. Auction, exhaustion. There's something here. Where are you, man? I cannot see you here. 1, 2, 3. Let's use 4. Apply. Okay. Apply. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bid and ask. Ooh. Net block. This is the volume to the downside actually here. What I can see is he's selling, bigger selling coming right on top of retail buy, or what traders call selling into a strength. That's what's happening here. That seems to be happening here. Let's see how long, but let's see how long I can have these alerts here before the charts start to slow down. The most important thing here would be to see if the market can actually close this distribution here. This market is trying to replicate the last week closing. Now pretty much they are pretty much in sync now. The support in this area, support as well. Nasdaq intraday support relative to today only. This may attempt even. Okay, what I'm going to do now, you know, let me call this POC, for example. This is POC right now. This is POC in the split chart. Now I am going to undo the split. A POC is up there as well for the whole day, and this could be the real piece of information, really significant. Let's call it white. These are distributions closed. No, I don't like that. Let's call it this colors. This will be distribution closed. The current distribution. We have only two distributions today, right? And if I'm going to take a long here, I may take something down here. Right? You know, assuming. Not that I want to trade this market. Remember that. Because the day is to the upside. Why I would like to take a trade to the downside, man? In a day which tone is to the upside, right? This day, today Monday, is different than Friday. Notice where value is in Friday relative to the previous day, and where now is relative to its previous day. Quite a difference, right? The same thinking, the same logic, quote unquote logic, but you have very different days when you actually observe the market. All right. I'm going to go silent now. I'm gonna drink some water while still observe the market. Nasdaq has not closed its lower distributions, its upper distributions. check this out. Just check this out, what happened here. Nasdaq goes lower. Look at the volume that's coming here. I don't know, but I don't want the exact number, but I just have these alarms here that come when volume reaches a certain threshold, and I have the alarm here. It has come after a while. You got this one, and then comes away. What has happened until now, every time this has happened, we have an upside that followed. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Our traders are just humans. We humans are animals of habits, creatures. No blocks, no big blocks has come on. Yes. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here. 20. Yeah, right there. There's a huge battle here that is happening. Has started when Nasdaq printed this accumulation here. What worries me here is the accumulation that's happening here now. This could be the end. We may see some rotation back into this range here now, because I did expect it. I don't like using that word, right? This happening, or this long coming from maybe down below here, right? It's kind of like it might be too early. If this market comes back inside K range, it may have some retracement, towards this area here, and that's why I move it. That's the reason why I moved the stop just a couple ticks above half back here. I don't. If this market comes back into K, there can be significant downside. As long as this keeps above K, the next thing can be this high. Yeah, but it needs to have some upside. The formation that I have here, these kind of formations are dangerous here, right now. What is happening up here, right? These kind of formations are really dangerous because there's volume here, but it's low volume relative to this one, for example, right? We have almost 10K. The same thing that happened here, we have almost have it here in Nasdaq, in the ES, right? And this is a lot of whites here. This probably some of these shorts being taken care of now. Once those ones are out, the market can come back. That's an A scenario, right? That's an A scenario. There's a lot of buying that's happening now here, just at the high of K. Do you remember what happened on Friday in L? Do you remember what we talked about that one? There was accumulation towards the lower side, right? The same thing is happening now, but this time it's happening in the upper side of the district of the range, right? And this week is just starting. It's not the close of the week, so this might work. I'm looking. This is short term trading. Looking towards the 50, right? I got a stop here. I need to get rid of this because I have now up here. This may work or may not work. You always have two possibilities, right? That you trade more work or doesn't work. You can see that high is holding, right there is holding. And it took me out. Now the trade didn't work. And the reason I decided to use a tight stop here is because it has not. I am kind of like getting into triggered into action because I would say FOMO. Remember, this is my range. This is POC. Something better would have been coming from this area, right? And coming actually from up here above POC, right? This is unfair prices, right? Unfair prices if I'm looking to the upside. And that's a risk I'm not willing to take. It is basically the same phenomena, the same behavior that happened on Friday at the close. The difference now, as we get to the close, the action is going to get into the upside. All right, I'm going to call it a day, unless you have any questions or comments. I'm going to wish you guys a wonderful rest of the day. If I don't see you tomorrow, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Okay.